Hi, good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm so happy to be back on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever we're posting this. I'm Janice Wood, and welcome to my show for Senior Citizens Forum. And in our forum, we're going to be discussing many different subjects. This is going to be our second season, so if you go back into Facebook, you're going to find a lot of very interesting subjects from our previous seasons that will actually lead into some of our subjects that we're going to be talking about in the new season. I am a licensed insurance agent. I have been doing Medicare for 12 years and what I call regular health insurance now for 8 years. For Medicare, right now, we are in an open enrollment period that started January 1st and goes to March 31st. So if you have a Medicare Advantage plan and you didn't have it reviewed during the annual election period that started October 15th through December 7th, you can still have a review done now, and you can change that plan one time during this period. And if you want to go back to original Medicare, you can pick up a prescription drug plan. If you're interested in having health insurance and you don't have it right now, or you want a review of what you have, um, for February 1st effective date for regular health insurance is January 31st. And I also work with Covered California. But today we're not here to talk about Medicare or health insurance. We're here today and we're going to be talking about osteoarthritis. Did you realize that 30 million people in the United States have osteoarthritis? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a senior. So if you know someone that's not a senior and they may be interested in what we're talking about, you may want to share this with them, okay? But osteoarthritis affects 1 in 10 people every year, which is really serious. When you get those pains in your joints, when you feel like your bones are inflammatory, that could be osteoarthritis. So I have here Dr. Amber Voltinkel from Voltinko Wellness. And I'm so excited for Dr. Amber right now because I've been her client for about 4 years. I've known her a lot longer than that, okay? But she's growing. So she is moving to a new office space in the same facility that she's in right now. And she's going to continue to grow because I know when I talk to her 5-7 years from now, she's going to tell me she's growing again. Dr. Amber's office not only works with chiropractic, what we think about, the spinal line, things lining up in your spine. So she has an associate chiropractor that works with her. But Dr. Amber does more than that. Dr. Amber is really into nutrition. And nutrition is really, really important. She's also into a lot of things that have to do with the immune system. She's gone back to school and has received more education, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And every year when it hits January, we all make those predictions, those changes that we want to make for the year, okay? Those goals of those changes. And one of them is we want to change our diet. But do you realize in changing your diet, you could be changing what is affecting you in osteoarthritis? Because anytime you see the word itis, you could correct me if I'm wrong here, Amber, okay? It means inflammation. There's inflammation somewhere in your body, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And right now we're going to be looking at the joints. So before we really get into this anymore, Dr. Amber, tell us a little something new about yourself. Now, Dr. Amber's been on last season. She was on my show a couple of times. She will be on my show probably end of February, get into March. because when we started talking about nutrition, nutrition is just so important, not only for osteoarthritis, but for so many other things that affects the body. So we figured this is a huge subject for us to get into. And
yes, limitless.
I know Dr. Amber and I are going to be meeting to talk about my nutrition, not because of osteoarthritis, but for other things that nutrition is really important. And she and I have been talking nutrition for years. Okay.
Yes.
So, so Dr. Amber, so tell us something more about yourself.
Yeah. So, well, this year, 2021, Happy New Year, as you said. And again, starting the new year, people have goals, targets they're looking for. We have a lot of patients that come in that are looking to change their overall health. And being that I'm a holistic chiropractor, like Janice said, we not only work with the spine and look to the structure and the nervous system, but we also help give advice as far as nutrition and overall wellness. So my background, like I've said before, previous on Janice's show, you know, we do a lot with people with autoimmune disease, balancing hormones, individuals that have metabolism problems, whether it's weight gain, weight loss. So what we've seen in the last actually several months leading up to 2021, people talking about that extra weight that they gained during 2020. They're calling it the COVID pounds. And anyway, that being said, health overall has changed. And being that our subject is on osteoarthritis, that condition with the joints has a lot to do with mechanical problems of the body. So you may or may not know this out there, but chiropractors help with the condition called subluxation, which is misalignment of a joint. And it's very interesting when you have a misalignment of a joint, within 2 days, that joint is trying to protect itself. So over a 15 to 20-year process, people end up with osteoarthritis, which is basically growth of bone. This is different than osteoporosis, which is loss of bone structure matrix. This is the body trying to protect itself by forming bone, which we've heard people talk about. Oh, I have a bone spur, or I have decay of my joint. So I wanted to show you, Janice, I brought these models. I love these. This is a spine that is healthy. Nice disc space. The discs are healthy. The nerves are healthy. You can see the bones are very smooth. This is, there's 3 phases of degeneration. This is phase 3. See how that is? All those bone spurs, even in the joints in the back, even the bones that you feel when you feel the back of your spine have bone spurring.
So this is looking at it.
Yeah. Isn't it? Look, so this is normal. No decay, no osteoarthritis, and this is the worst phase. So I'll show you the in-betweens because it's important. So this is normal.
Normal.
And then this is phase 1. So you can see how the disc is starting to bulge, right?
Okay.
And then the body is so smart, it starts to form bone. So this is phase 2. This is where a lot of people get disc herniations.
Okay.
The nerve starts to not function well. And then this is phase 3.
So that's why not only is it hurting, but I know as you get older, and I'm not the tallest person in the world. So, but as you get out, you start to shrink. So is that why, I mean, you become, you're not.
Yes, and a lot of my Medicare seniors talk about that. They used to be, 5'3", and now they're 5'1", and they talk about that loss of inches for sure. And why you brought it up earlier, because yes, this takes time to get, right? But it's a mechanical problem. So a lot of my patients, not just the seniors, are coming in with weight gain. So when you gain weight, you put more pressure on those structures, those joints, and the joints have no choice but to form more bone to try to protect itself, the spinal cord and the nervous system. So not only subluxation, misalignment, so that can be done from taking your trash out, Janice, sleeping wrong, having babies, car accidents, sports, but it can also occur because of weight gain.
Absolutely. So that leads us into the nutrition part of this.
Right. So one thing I can say for sure, and I've talked about it on your broadcast before, but the thing is with osteoarthritis, like you brought up, itis means inflammation. So when people have this condition, it causes inflammation, and that causes a little known symptom called pain. So inflammation causes pain. So people will wake up feeling pain with osteoarthritis. It's very common in the morning. They feel stiff, they have pain. Usually after they've walked for about an hour, like meaning around their house, they've gotten up, they've showered, the pain starts to get, lessen.
Okay, so
So,
I was reading that there were 4 stages of pain.
oh yes, there are.
Okay, so it starts out minor,
Yep.
and then it goes to mild, and then moderate, and then severe.
Right. And severe, what we call that on a pain scale is 10, like 0 to 10. That's emergency room. Right. And so that's a very good point, Janice, because people are amazing. Lots of people will cope with pain. They'll live with it. They just keep shoving it under the rug, thinking no problem, no big deal, until it gets so severe that they have to have surgery, pain meds, then it's really a problem. So when you start to feel stiff and you have pain in your joints, you definitely have gotten to a point where the body already has a problem. That's why it's so important to get an evaluation to prevent osteoarthritis, because this is a mechanical problem that can be stopped if you catch it soon enough.
If you're in pain, okay, and it's in your spine, can you stand funny, like put more weight on a hip or more
Right.
weight on the knee joints?
Right. So very good point. So subluxation, misalignment, postural change. When you have joints that look like this, you're going to compensate with how you walk, how you sit, how you sleep, how you perform exercise. And that can wear down on other joints. It can cause problems in your pelvis, your hips, your knees. Individuals that have the start of osteoarthritis will change themselves posturally when they're at their computers, which affects their shoulders. It leads into carpal tunnel, tennis elbow, golfer's elbow. People think, oh, that's just with those sports, but really that can happen even with people that have osteoarthritis starting in their neck and upper back, because it affects your nervous system.
Okay, so would it be weight bearing joints that we're looking at? So it would be like the hip.
Well, here's the thing. So because, you've probably in your life jammed a finger a few times, or, maybe you've been in a car accident, or like I just had an individual who had a really bad biking accident when they were in their 20s. Those joints, because of trauma, can also have arthritis, such as the shoulder, the wrist, the hands, fingers, right? And I'm specifically speaking of osteoarthritis. So that's a mechanical problem, not the autoimmune or the genetic predisposition, because there's lots of different types of arthritis. So very good question. It's typically in the weight bearing. That's why people typically get it in their spine, hips, knees, ankles. But if you've had traumas, even if they're micro traumas that have happened several times, you can get arthritis in even other joints, such as shoulders, elbows, wrists, and hands.
So even you can be getting that trauma also if you're exercising. Okay.
Yes. And
I'm a very great proponent of the exercise.
Yes.
Okay? And I mean, if you're not exercising correctly, you don't have the correct shoes on.
Right. Everything. Like the thing is with exercise, it is amazing because, the whole statement, if you don't use it, you lose it. So true.
Right.
But when you have had micro traumas, you have postural problems, you've had subluxation, misalignment of a joint, whatever that joint is. It could be the shoulder, it could be the spine, and you go and you exercise and you lift and you run, or even power walking, even people who swim, you can develop osteoarthritis because your joints are not aligned. Your posture is not correct. So important. That's why chiropractic really plays a big role in even somebody's healthy lifestyle of exercising, whether it's yoga, Pilates, swimming, tennis. I have a lot of dancers.
Oh, definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about at the very beginning, inflammation.
Yeah. So going back to that,
going back to that inflammation. Yes.
Yes. So food. Now, this is where, I see a lot of at the beginning of the year is people saying, well, how do I get rid of my pain? How do I sleep better? How do I digest better? How do I have better bowel movements? How do I lose weight? And so a lot of that comes down to the body can only burn a certain amount of sugar, and everything you eat turns to sugar. And if you have too much sugar, it equals inflammation, which equals pain. So if you already have the condition of osteoarthritis and you're adding a lot of food in your diet and you're not burning those sugars, you're going to have more inflammation and more pain. So basically things that turn to sugar that are, I call them extra carbs. So, in a day-to-day eating a meal, for those that, let's say, eat animal protein, you'd have some animal protein, you'd have your vegetables. But if you add with every meal, I want rice, I want pasta, I want a baked potato, I want bread. When you add those extra carbs, you're just adding sugar to already a meal that's going to be giving you energy, right?
Absolutely.
So your sugar increases, which causes inflammation, which causes pain.
Pain. And that goes also along with the alcohol.
Exactly. So a lot of people will drink, like I'll never forget, I loved this patient. She told me, I'm not getting rid of my blue drink. I will get rid of bread. I will get rid of pasta. I will get rid of pretzels, but I won't get rid of my blue drink. And I'm like, what's this blue drink? And it was some cocktail that she'd have every evening, and it was full of sugar. So what I finally was able to convince her to do, because once she got her diet in check, like her way of eating, where she was getting rid of, breads, pasta, rice, cookies, crackers, she started to lose inches, feel better. So then I started to work on her, instead of having these cocktails, once or twice a night, to try to have them just a few times a week to lower the sugar. One of the biggest ones, though, which a lot of people like and enjoy, is beer. Beer is very high in sugar, so it's very hard on the system. Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But sugars create so many problems in the body.
Yes.
I know that as growing up, everybody worried about salt.
Right.
Sugar is just as important to control
Yes.
as the salt is.
Right. Sugar is a neurotoxin. So it affects you neurologically. It affects you vascularly. Sugar is definitely one of those vices that, and when I say this, it's so easy for individuals to think, oh, well, doc, I don't eat candy bars. I don't eat cake every night or pie, but that's not all of where you get your sugars from. You get it from, again, muffins, bagels, bread, crackers, pretzels. That's all extra sugars. So as you can do that in moderation, or let go of some of that during your day, especially when you're looking at trying to feel less pain, less inflammation, whether you have osteoarthritis or an autoimmune disease, sugars definitely need to be lowered in the diet. And it really does come down to food.
Now, there's one other sugar that you haven't brought up, and that's the sugar that you can get from fruit.
Sure. So basically, you've got your sugars from fruit and vegetable. Mm-hmm. Right? That's all going to turn to sugar. So if you have a big plate of broccoli, you have an orange, you have some strawberries, a banana, that's all sugar. So if you think of it, if you eat that and then you add, which most Americans do, bread, pasta, rice, crackers, cookies on top of already trying to eat what's good, you're just jacking the sugars up, which is going to cause more pain and inflammation and lead to autoimmune, lead to your body not able to burn the sugars. So good point. When you're eating fruits, like what I tell people, it's protein, vegetables, and a little bit of fruit. A little bit of fruit.
And everybody thinks, oh, that grape. I mean, we love grapes. I know people even take grapes and they freeze them and they taste like candy when they.
Yes.
Okay. that's still very high in sugar.
Correct. But if your diet, if you're doing okay with your diet, if you're lowering the carbohydrates that are those extra carbs, you know, you could, with different people's health history, they can afford to have a few more grapes if they're letting go of their bread, pasta, rice, cookies, crackers, right? But if all of that is being added up, the body is going to have a hard time burning that. Now, if you have diabetes, autoimmune disease, then yeah, then you really have to watch even your fruits and vegetables you're eating. You have to make sure there's a good combination between the proteins, fruits, and vegetables. And sometimes it's also very important in those situations to make sure that there might even be a grain, even though that's higher in carbs, that you have to mix, but doing portion control to get the combination of the body to burn the sugar. If you have autoimmune disease such as diabetes, you know, but even the other autoimmune diseases. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I treat that have rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, MS. Even those individuals have to control their sugar intake because sugar turns to inflammation, which causes pain.
Absolutely.
And if you have autoimmune, you typically have pain.
You're gonna have some kind of pain. And
right.
The older we get, things happen because we've used our bodies throughout all of our life. And
right.
And what we knew, well, I can talk about 70 years ago. Okay,
yeah,
it's
right.
not the same thing as what I'm doing now.
Right.
And those
one thing I want to bring up, I agree with you. And one thing I want to bring up too, real quick, because I think it's important. You know, people always ask me, well, okay, there's the food bringing down my inflammation, but what else can I do? Like, are there supplements? You know, what else do I need? And you're bringing up a good point. 70 years ago, our soil was way more enriched with vitamins and minerals. So when you look at osteoarthritis and just even food in general, our soil's so depleted. So people need to be on a vitamin and mineral. Minerals are great for helping at a cellular level with inflammation. Also, omegas are very important. Essential fatty acids, it helps to lubricate the joints. Very, very helpful. So like, you know, when I say omegas, I'm talking about like flax, borage, krill, those kinds of things. And then also now I know we're not talking about osteoporosis, but still people want to know about magnesium and calcium. They're always asking these questions. And this is a good time to bring it up in case we never have a show on just osteoporosis. I wanted to mention, because we're talking about inflammation, possibly when people have autoimmune, the osteoarthritis, having pain, people want to know, okay, how much calcium do I take for the strength of my bones, protecting my joints? And calcium citrate is an easier calcium to absorb. And a lot of people have gut problems. They don't have good bowels. They have gas, bloating, irritability, constipation, diarrhea. So citrate's easiest, 2,500 milligrams daily. Now, if somebody has digestive issues, right? And let's say they have calcium carbonate, which is the other type of calcium, they need to be sure that they're taking an enzyme, right? Because even our food is diminished in enzymes because of genetic modified organisms since 1994, you know? So I say in general, whether you're taking calcium citrate or carbonate, you should take an enzyme.
Absolutely.
Before you eat.
Now, one of the things I learned in doing this, that medications,
yes,
over $10 million is spent in medications to help relieve the pains from osteoarthritis. That's amazing.
Yes. You know, a lot of patients over my 20 plus years of practice have come in who are unfortunately, because of pain, addicted to opioids. So it's a very serious situation, actually, because opioids ruin people's lives. They can't work. You know, the families are ruined. You know, there's divorce, there's addiction. They buy them on the street. It's very, very troublesome to me. And one of my main purposes in chiropractic is to do talks like this with you, Janice, to educate people. There's chiropractic, there's nutrition, there's other things that you can do.
Absolutely.
Because that's what happens. You start with the over-the-counter med, you go, then that's not working anymore. You then go to your medical doctor. They might put you on something stronger, like a stronger Tylenol or a stronger med. Well, that stops working. And then the next thing you know, this person's on really heavy pain medication that's addicting and can ruin their life.
Absolutely. Your everyday life is ruined once you become addicted.
Correct. And I have individuals, Janice, over the last 20 plus years, not only in their 20s and 30s that have had this problem, but even my Medicare seniors. I can't tell you how many of my 65 and older patients have come in and they're like, I'm on opioids.
Yeah, and they want to get off of it, and it's not easy to get off of it.
Right. It's very difficult.
But there's so many other things that we can do for our bodies than taking all this pain medication. Because pain medication to me, it just masks what's wrong. You're not.
I understand it.
What's wrong.
Right. And of course, and I want to say this, being a doctor of chiropractic, I don't prescribe meds. I don't take anyone off of meds. My whole purpose is to educate with the use of chiropractic nutrition and encouraging exercise to help people so they don't have to go down that road. Or if they've gone down that road, what are my alternatives? And you're right, it's very difficult for people. And I have to say this, bodies take a lot of work. I mean, you got to feed the body, clean the body, brush the teeth, eat right. I mean, exercise the body, get the body chiropractic. I mean, it is a lot, and I understand. But once you start getting in a routine, right? Even if it's baby steps, you start moving in the right direction of a more healthful life with years, more years of quality health, quality life of life.
Doing a cleanse, that takes us into a completely different subject, okay?
Yes.
But you're talking about cleaning the outside of the body. Well, the inside of the body needs to be cleaned also. So
Correct.
Cleanses are really important.
I am a fan. There are many different types of cleanse protocols that I do with my patients, because it depends on what's going on with their body, right? If somebody's on a lot of meds, you can't just throw them into a cleanse, any of them.
Yeah.
But the good news, there's gentle ways to cleanse. I have this really neat product. It's actually a product that is a 7-channel cleanse. It's very gentle. And it doesn't have contraindications with a lot of the medications. So it's an exciting way to help people gently cleanse. But I will tell you, I love juicing. I love liver cleanses. I have one of my cleanses here is a 14-day liver cleanse that consists mostly of sulfur. That's how you cleanse the liver. It's very easy to do. It's a meal replacement in the morning, one at night. So very easy. You want to know the easiest thing though, where people forget this. And I hear people tell me, oh, I don't like the taste of water, but water is one of the number one things you can do to cleanse the body daily.
What about if you don't like the taste of water? Okay, adding a little lemon, squeeze of lemon
Perfect.
to it, or lime to it.
Yes, lemon is perfect for your kidneys, so it's great. The one thing where people get a little confused with water, they're like, well, water is in my coffee that I made, water's in the tea that I made. And I'm like, nope, you have to have just water with a little lemon, no problem. People can cut up strawberry, cucumber to make it have somewhat of a flavor. Better to do it with that on your own than buy it purchased, because people will also buy water that's flavored, which is sugary. You don't want sugars, right? Okay. But water is so important. It's a natural detoxifier that's right there in your home.
Absolutely.
Right.
A little bit of cucumber in water tastes really good.
Yeah. I love you slice it up, put it in. Like I have patients that have you can get them at like Costco, but they're the big water glass containers that have like a little spout, and they'll fill it up for their family and they'll throw in strawberry, lemon, cucumber. They just make like a yummy mixture of water. And then the kids can come by and everybody in the family can come by and just get some yummy water all day long. Yep.
Because water is so important for the kidneys,
yes,
the liver, and
yep,
it's going to help your joints, which we're talking about today.
That's right. It helps with osteoarthritis. It helps to flush out the inflammation.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do. And
Yes.
and I mentioned, things that we did 70 years ago. I think the way we eat is so different today. And
Mhm.
I've been watching the evolution of how we're eating all that processed food
Yeah.
that we've been eating over the last 70 years, because it really started about, I remember it was Swanson TV dinners
Yes.
first
Well,
started.
I'm the same. Like I grew up in the 80s. I remember when the microwave became like the next best thing since sliced bread. My mom, my grandmother, I mean, we probably had 2 or 3 times a week microwaved TV dinners. Like that's what everybody was doing.
Yeah, I mean, it was like crazy, okay?
Right.
And
Zap the
all
nutrition.
the different chemicals that they put in the food to preserve it
Right.
affects our body, our joints,
Yep.
everything.
Everything. Because your body, there's 82,000 toxins in the environment. Your body can only take so much to fight off. And you're right. That leads to disease. Yeah.
Totally leads to disease. And I know we're not talking about rheumatoid arthritis, but I know rheumatoid arthritis will affect the other organs of your body where osteoarthritis doesn't, which is a good.
Right. Osteoarthritis, what we're discussing today, is specifically joint related. Yep. And it's mechanical. That's the biggest takeaway because people think, oh, everyone's going to get osteoarthritis. Well, that's not true. It's a mechanical problem. So if people keep their posture doing well, they keep aligned, they get rid of subluxation, you can literally prevent your body from getting osteoarthritis.
Right. So which
Now,
is
traumas are different because, if you break something or you have ligament damage, just alone chiropractic and exercise and nutrition, your body's going to try to protect itself. Thank goodness. But
yeah.
yeah, that's a little different. But
So I'm hoping today that people realize that there's something else to take besides those painkillers,
yes.
because I believe in finding out what the cause is, not masking it with the
Right.
medication.
Another thing I'll bring up real quick, collagen. Collagen is amazing for building the joints. So I know I brought up calcium. It's just because people ask me that all the time. But one of the biggest things, besides suggesting omegas, suggesting drinking plenty of water, movement, it's also, and then diet, nutrition with the sugars. It's also collagen is a very good builder. I did a whole paper years ago on glucosamine. The trick with glucosamine, what really got it to work well was the fact that it had N-acetylcysteine in it, which we call NAC,
Mm-hmm.
which, just to bring up, is very effective if you can get N-acetylcysteine with glucosamine. That can also be a very good supplement to take. Also, people use creams. They'll use magnesium creams. They'll use creams that have essential oils that help with inflammation, like the blue tansy. People use wellness oils, for inflammation.
Right.
So anyway, those are others.
I was going to say, I know recently I just put my dog on glucosamine.
Oh, yes. So one thing that I find just through my own research that goes well with it is you want to give them some N-acetylcysteine as well, or Daisy, some N-acetylcysteine. It comes in capsules, it's white powder, but then that way the glucosamine will actually be utilized.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things Dr. Amber just mentioned a couple of minutes ago was the collagen. If you go back to one of our shows in last season, we really talked a lot about collagen in that show. So if you want more information about collagen, please go back and visit that particular show, because we did talk about it. And I had a couple of people say, oh my goodness, I'm going to go try collagen from that show.
Yeah.
And I mean, I taken collagen because I want more hair.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's super good for your hair, skin, and nails. For us ladies,
Yeah.
anti-aging. One of the ways, like for those that maybe they do soup broths and things like that, because especially right now it's winter time, so people are more into the soups and such. you can get yes, you can get collagen powder. They have it in protein shakes now. But if you like making soups, you can do your own bone broth, and bone broth, which I know we discussed, it's just chock full of really good collagen and minerals for those that do bone, like let's say you like soup, you can make your own bone broth, and the Instant Pot is perfect because you can do it in 2 hours instead of having to have your pot simmering for 2 days.
Thank you for that tip.
Yeah.
Now, what happens if you are a vegetarian or a vegan? What would you recommend for those people?
Well, so there's different formulas that you can actually get that will help with the same, giving you the same thing you need with the collagen. So there's alternatives.
Okay, great. Well,
Yep.
this has been really informative as always.
Yay.
Anything else you want to add?
Well, I just want to say thank you, Janice. I know thank you for giving that information at the beginning with individuals that are 65 that could, change their Medicare, programs if needed. And of course, I'm always looking out for my patients asking for advice to give you a call. Right now, like Janice said, we're moving in the same Tustin Medical Complex here in Tustin. We're just moving to a bigger space, which, as you know, we keep it clean, safe. We're taking temperatures for our patients coming in. We have patients that want to be texted and brought in from their car, which we accommodate. So now our office will be more spacious. So I'm looking forward to that in these times. Also, we do have the availability, if you don't want to come into the office, to do a phone consultation. We still have our same discount at $49 for the initial phone consultation, where I can discuss nutrition, but also joint health. I've done that all through COVID. And then also, if you want to come into the clinic, we have a consultation exam and an adjustment, and it's a $40 charge. So anyway, if you guys need help, I'm open. My information's here. Janice has put it up. So please reach out. Feel free to ask me questions, especially on the topic today, osteoarthritis and nutrition.
Okay. And Dr. Amber has got so much information on nutrition that she and I, as I said earlier, we're going to have a Zoom appointment where we can sit and talk about my nutrition and things that need to be changed in that.
And I look forward to that.
Going forward. It's just very important. So if you see on your screen, I posted how to get a hold of Dr. Amber. She's great. She's friendly. Her staff is really friendly. I can't wait to see her new office.
Yes, thank you.
Really, when we go back to normal times, Dr. Amber sometimes puts on a health fair.
Yes.
She does all kinds of things to reach out to the community. If you look on Facebook, you also find that Dr. Amber has her own show that she gets up and she talks about many of the different subjects that some of them were mentioned today, like the autoimmune system, diabetes, hormones, and they're interesting. And
yes, thank you.
You don't have to catch them live. You can catch them being right here, on Facebook or whatever else.
Yep, I have them on Facebook, and we have links on Instagram and LinkedIn, right, just as you do. So yeah, people can listen anytime.
Right. So they can go back and listen anytime. Same thing for like today's show.
Yes.
You go back and you can replay it and get that information. And we want you to go back and do that. So thank you for being my first guest.
Yes, thank you.
Of my second season. I'm really excited. We're going to you and I will be back here to talk with everybody again about nutrition. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sounds good.
And, we will send you a date. Okay. Probably for everybody to listen. So look forward to be towards the end of February or the very beginning of March.
Perfect. Okay? I look forward to it.
So as always, this has been enjoyable. I love doing this, and I know I need that appointment with you real soon.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. thank you for attending, and Happy New Year. And remember, when you do those goals that you set for the year, make sure your nutrition is correct. It will help your body. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.